Hey, what's going on, everybody? And for once, I'm not saying Niner fam. This is the actual Odd Couple podcast. It's going to be under the Niner Fanatic podcast banner today, but it's really the Odd Couple podcast. And I'm happy to have my guy Nathan Thayer with me today. And we did this, we tried this a long time ago when we were first starting this whole thing. And now Nate found some time for me, so I'm excited to have him on today. And we're really going to be talking about NFC West, everything NFC West today. So this is really going to be a combined division podcast. And but Nate, hey bro, how you doing? Like long time no talk. And how's everything going?
Doing all right over here, man. It's been kind of a wild couple months. I moved a few months ago, and I've just had a lot of stuff happening at home. So, but I have been watching, and I'm loving what you're doing with it. And as much as it makes me a little sick in here to watch Niners stuff, you're my boy for like 30 something years.
Yeah, for sure.
So
now you're telling people how old I am. But yeah, it's and I saw your picture you sent me pictures of your place. It's fucking beautiful, bro. Proud of you for everything that you're doing. And but super excited. We got one more week to go till real foot. And actually not even a week. We've got a few days, especially for you, because I think your game is on Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah. Yeah. We get everybody's Super Bowl favorite coming to town.
Yeah.
To kick things off.
They're listed as the number one roster in the NFL, and they're a stacked team. I saw them play a couple of games in preseason, but yeah, why don't we start with your team? With the Rams, the Super Bowl champions. Here we are.
Like 5 days, bro. This still counts for like 5 days. You guys got to suck it up on here.
Yeah, it's really hard to look at, but I mean, it is what it is. We're still winning overall in the overall ring details. So I guess I can stand it for at least one more season. But yeah, you guys are Super Bowl champs. Still high expectations for you guys. I see a lot of the national guys still calling you guys in the Super Bowl. How do you feel about your team, the Rams, and how do you feel about how confident are you going into this season?
Honestly, with the schedule that we're facing, us drawing Buffalo as our game 17, which winds up being opening night. With what the AFC West, the overhaul the AFC West has gone through, and us having to play them this year, man, it's hard we got a Super Bowl champ schedule,
yeah,
which is why it's so hard to repeat.
Absolutely.
Teams win it, and then the NFL just throws the house at them. We play everybody. We play everybody who matters that they could possibly schedule, besides the off teams from the AFC and other divisions. Anybody who's anybody from the NFC, the Rams score up with this year. So let alone our own division, where we're going to have you guys bring your lunch pail every time. And we already know how this series has been going lately. We got the big one that counted, but it was 6 straight to that point. And some ugly performances by us. Arizona is going to be a team that I still feel is going to be a 9 to 10 win team that might sniff the wild card, but I don't see them doing anything. And Seattle is in full desert, dry. We're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
We have we have what they have: Lockett, Metcalf, Adams, and Diggs, and the step kids. So I mean, it's hard to imagine them winning more than 5 or 6 games. But to Pete Carroll's credit, he has shocked us before. So, to see them throw in a game where, they ruined somebody's season or something like that, win 7-8 games, I wouldn't be stunned. But just to call them a contender for anything would definitely be a stretch. Yeah. But as far as the Rams go, like we did what we do. We brought over Bobby Wagner somehow, somewhere. Our accountant's my hero.
Yeah.
I want him to teach me how to do life at 45 years old. But we got Bobby Wagner somehow. And I'm kind of starting to feel like maybe, just maybe, we might get that Patriots thing going where we get everybody's last couple of good years, and that would be just gorgeous if we could pull it off. But otherwise, dude, I mean, you're looking at, obviously, Bob Woods is gone, huge loss. I don't care how that's a meat and potatoes guy that gets those nasty yards for you. Allen Robinson comes in. I like the kid. He's never played with a quarterback, so. And the Rams have kind of had this habit of making guys look really good. So I hope that that's the case for him. But after that, Van Jefferson has this knee thing going on that's kind of plaguing him. And after that, things get real slim. We have a kid that had a really good preseason, an undrafted kid out of Montana State, McCutcheon, that is a pretty good sized kid that could, maybe come in and have like a 30-40 ball season, something like that. But beyond that, it's the Rams. We have 7 superstars and fill-ins, and it's working. Like we were talking about before the podcast, we would be sitting here going, "Is it the right thing to do?" But last year happened, and all it takes is that one, and everything works, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
I can't argue with it.
Yeah, I mean, we have our typical our depth chart. We have, I think, 3 undrafted guys that made the team. We had some kid middle linebacker that set the team's all-time tackle record for preseason in 3 games, not even 4. And you can read into that how you want to read into it, but clearly the kid has a nose for the ball. Like that kid that I don't know if you watch Hard Knocks this year with that Rodriguez kid they have over in Detroit.
Oh yeah,
he just kind of gets it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And we've been really good at finding those kids. He's the new Troy Reader, the new Ernest Jones, the new, you name him, and we have like I said, we have our superstars. I mean, our pass rush is definitely Donald. Sooner or later, he's going to start showing he's a human being, and injury's going to happen. Something's going to go on. And I'm sorry, but like Leonard Floyd is a product of Aaron Donald. You saw him in Chicago, 6-7 sacks a year, big bust. Well, not a big bust, but definitely not worthy of a first round pick. He comes here, he's a double-digit guy every year now. We saw it happen with Dante Fowler. Like he went to Atlanta, and I think he's had 5 sacks since then. I mean, Donald attracts so much attention that he makes everybody else look good around him, while still somehow 60 tackles and 12 sacks. So, I mean, it looks like a Rams roster. I don't see any reason why we couldn't make a run at it. Like I said, the schedule is a gauntlet. If the injury bug hits us at all, I mean, even at like a 20% clip, they could get ugly real fast. But, as long as those core guys are on the field, I don't see a reason why we're not at least, we're not for sure in the wild card conversation. I mean, maybe making a little run at it. Stafford, his arm, he's got this elbow thing going on.
What's that? I mean, I heard somebody was on Twitter the other day saying that Stafford dealt with this last year. What is that true, or was it something else?
It was a later season thing. It started hitting him later in the year, and he probably played his best football in the playoffs. So clearly whatever they were doing to him was working. But the guy's in his mid-30s. It's the NFL. The guy's thrown how many passes in his career? I mean, he's slung the hell out of it in Detroit. They didn't have a running game in any year he was there. And obviously this is still a pass-first offense that he's in now. I mean, Cam Akers flashes, but he hasn't been the guy yet. Henderson flashes, but he hasn't been the guy yet. And after that, again, we just kind of have fill-ins from that point on. We'll see. I mean, again, I'm not going to argue with what they're doing because we're in the playoffs every year and we want to chip, but it always feels like it's just if
Yeah.
we get unhealthy, it could get bad real quick.
How do you feel about your offensive line? Because the narrative, I know, like I'm in the Twitter spaces like every like all week, like during the weekdays, and they all say that you have the guy starting on the left side that was starting while Whitworth was hurt, correct?
Yeah. So Joe Noteboom, yeah.
Yeah. And I liked him. I think
Yeah.
he's solid. But what about the rest of the line? Because you had another loss on that line, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we have Allen back. We have Edwards in. We had the rookie kid we got from Wisconsin. We were working on our third Wisconsin lineman we drafted this year, and he blew his ACL and MCL. He had like the full blowout, which is even worse for a lineman. So he's done probably for a year and change. I know we plug in David Edwards there. We still have Havelstein on the right side, who I'm not a big Rob Havelstein fan. He's serviceable, but he's a middle of the pack. It's a middle of the pack line. We'll just call it that. It definitely isn't better than yours. I think you guys are definitely the class of the NFC West when it comes to that. Just Trent Williams alone.
Yes, and that's what it is. That's all it is. It's you put Trent Williams on the at the left side, at the left tackle spot, and like the rest of the guys by osmosis, they end up half decent. Like we're a good run blocking line. We're just really not great at pass pro. And but Trey Lance is going to help with that a little bit this year. So it should be a little bit.
So I didn't get to see any of you guys' preseason stuff. And I know I texted you the other day and said, oh boy, look who's still sticking around.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's just get this part out of the way. Like the Jimmy, and for all the people that watch my show on a regular basis, like this, like I know that I've talked about this ad nauseum, but it's a win for the 49ers. As weird as that sounds, it's a win. They have a bottom 20 starting quarterback in the league as their backup. Like, and that's really the way to look at it. And I think that's the way that the 49ers are looking at this. They were fortunate enough and they still got him to give back $13 million this year. Like if we had dropped him, if we had cut him, we would have made back the whole like $25 million. But they decided, hey, we'll give you 6.5. We'll restructure your deal, and and that way you can finish out the season. You can finish out this season on the squad. You can be Trey's backup, and this is the thing. Is now the most important part of all of it is now that it makes him a more tradable asset because his number's only $6.5 million now instead of 25.
Yeah. So like my question is again, like, I was just kind of sniffing around it. Like I didn't dig too deep into it. Like, are they not? I mean, so Trey's taking the first snap week 1. That's
for sure. It's not even a question.
So like, how do you feel about him? I mean, I've watched a little bit,
So I like Trey. Like, so everybody's is kind of going back to the Texans game, right? And like he didn't play in the second game. He only played in the Green Bay game, and then he played three series in the Texans game. And in the Texans game, what all of the players said was, and including Kyle, was that we were sloppy. We didn't even prepare for this game. They didn't know game plan. They just went out there and ran some plays. And it was literally just to get Trey's beak wet, and it was like just to get him some action and some snaps. Like and he went 7 of 11, but I feel like people were trying to make this a lot worse than what it was. There was a lot of penalties. It was just sloppy play all the way around, both sides of the ball, and there was no starters playing. We didn't have our starting tackles on the offensive line, so Trey was running for his life. He had Debo for 1 series. He had Kittle for 1 series, and the rest of it was just a pish posh. So like, it's just, I don't really take too much of when they did. even in the Green Bay game, like the first one, he looked good. He looked solid. He only had I think 2 drives in that game, but he had the long pass he looked solid. Like he had the long pass to Danny Gray, which was all over Twitter for weeks. But
he can sling it. There's no question he can sling it, bro.
Yeah. Like so that's but this is the thing about Trey, and I think that people are missing is everybody's so focused on Trey starting, but we drug Jimmy Garoppolo to a Super Bowl. This team drug Jimmy Garoppolo to the NFC Championship game last year. They can do the same thing for a kid with a whole bunch of attributes that Jimmy doesn't have.
Yeah, for sure.
And so all he has to do is not throw picks like Jimmy has a propensity to do in bad moments. So I'm not too worried about Trey at all.
Yeah. I mean, Garoppolo, I mean, and God,
I want to say what's going on, Niner Sickness. Appreciate you, bro.
Let me take my nausea pill while I talk about Garoppolo. Yeah. Look, dude, I mean, yeah, the guy's a serviceable starter. I mean, and again, he's the reason why you never got the last step, but he's also part of the reason why you got to the step. And you're always going to have that parallel with him. He shows up and plays the game and you're thinking, cool, we can Trent Dilfer this guy for a year. Right.
Yeah.
But then he has that game where it's just like, dude, really? Yeah. And
the worst possible moments. It's just terrible.
So like beyond, obviously you guys have the ultimate Swiss Army knife player in Debo. Kittle's a top 3 tight end. No, there's not a single argument there when he's healthy. Did you guys move Ayuk or something like that? Or do you
No, he's there.
He's still there.
And we got Ayuk, and he looks incredible. He looks incredible in camp. Because they didn't let him play in the preseason pretty much. So no, that's not true. I think he played in one series, but 1 or 2 series. But for the most part, he's looked ridiculously good in camp. And by all reports, he's looked awesome. So I'm not worried about him. They've got some new weapons this year. And we had Jawan Jennings, who you guys kind of got introduced to last year. As our third wide receiver. He's a bigger wide receiver. He's like 6'4", 220.
Yeah.
And he's real physical. Yeah. So he's still there, but now they've got 2 new weapons. They're only carrying five wide receivers. So it's going to be those 3. And then you've got Ray McLeod that they got from Pittsburgh, who's going to be our new return man. Plus he's going to play more of that traditional slot role. And he's really fast. And then you've got Danny Gray, the guy that we drafted this year, and he is a burner. And he's more than a burner. People just think of him just as a burner, but he runs routes. And he's had a really good camp. He's caught some really good balls in preseason. I think that they are loaded on offense because the running back room. They felt. We got a guy, undrafted free agent this year named Jordan Mason. Just remember that name, Jordan Mason. He's, I think he's a little bit over 6 feet, and he's 230 pounds, and runs like his hair's on fire. And he is perfect for this system. And it's, and to the point to where they cut Trey Sermon, the guy that they drafted in the 3rd round. They traded up to get Trey Sermon last year. So they got him, and they got Ty Davis Price, it's been a kind of a mixed bag, but he started to catch on late in the preseason. And, but then you've got, of course, Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson. So you've got those 4. And so we're solid in the running back room. Of course, you talked about Kittle. We've got Charlie Warner, which many people don't really know who he is. He's our tight end 2. He was our tight end 2 last season, but just nobody. We didn't really use him, but for anything but blocking. So, but our offensive line is going to. I think that's a lot of us fans think that that's going to be the one problem, because
Really?
And I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, I think that Kyle he kind of pish-poshed the line together last year, and you could barely tell. Like, it was because you've got, like we talked about earlier, we got Trent Williams. Then we have not a rookie. He's a second year guy starting at the left guard spot in Aaron Banks, who really wasn't made for our system. They made him spend his whole rookie year. He didn't play at all, and they made him redo his whole body. He lost a bunch of weight, and so that he could get quicker. And then you've got our center Jake Brendel, who's just a journeyman. He's been on like 5 or 6 different teams, never started. And but he's looked really good in preseason.
Right.
Like PFF was saying, he was one of the better preseason offensive linemen in the league. So he looks half decent. And then you've got at right guard, we've got our rookie Spencer Burford. This kid is going to be he's going to be a future Pro Bowler. Like he's got a nasty streak to him. Trent Williams took him under his wing. And like, I mean, flying him on his private jet took him under his wing. And wow. The team really likes him. And then you've got at right tackle, of course, we've got McGlinchey, but
he's a road grader.
Yes, he's great in the run. But this is the thing. He's coming off a major injury, like a career threatening type of injury. And he tore his muscle away from the bone in his his quad. He started to have a little bit of setbacks in the preseason. So they think he's going to start week 1, but I don't plan on having him that many games. Like, I just don't. And it's just a revolving door, everybody behind him. But we did pick up Blake Hance from Cleveland, and we have Daniel Brunskill, our other super sub. And Blake Hance is just another Daniel Brunskill except he was for Cleveland. So like, I'm pretty confident in the offensive line.
I mean, we all kind of deal with that, like you're going to have guys get dinged up, there's always going to be somewhat of a revolving door, especially on the offensive line. You're seeing it all throughout the league everywhere. I mean, it definitely, it's something we all deal with. So again, it's about, like you said, it's about, and talking about like your center, sometimes it takes the right fit. You'll see guys go from here to there, then all of a sudden the light comes on and they become at least solid pros. Absolutely. Because they find that right combination of guys, that right offense, that right blocking scheme, whatever it may be. And things just gel. I mean, I hope it doesn't for you, but but whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're the one team that somehow, some way makes Aaron Donald disappear. And I don't think you can ever say he totally disappears, but you definitely have found ways to make him over pursue and over, like, he's in your backfield, but he's nowhere near where he needs to be. And it's like, Shanny's sort of mastered the art of getting Donald, because you're not going to stop him, but they've got him like off course. And I have to give credit.
It's all misdirection. It's all misdirection stuff.
But like, nobody else has figured that out. Like, Donald is a game wrecker, and somehow, some way, you guys always find a way to minimize his impact on games. And it's huge. It's huge. I mean, it shows. It shows in every game that we play. Like, I mean, good God, he finally made a play in the end of the NFC Championship game, and I was like, oh my God, he got his hands on Garoppolo. Oh my God, and it actually really mattered. It was like a game changer. You know what I mean? But it was like, it just kills me to see that bastard standing up there clean against us all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it drives me insane, dude.
I would say that it is. This is the thing. The last time that we played the Rams, it was like they just sold out on the run. They said, we are not going to let the run beat us. We're like we're going to make Garoppolo do something.
Right.
And I mean, to your guys' credit, you were the one team that had the horses to set the edge and to not let us get outside. It's going to be a little bit different this season, just because we have a completely different backfield. And it's because, like, last year we had Hasty and we had Elijah Mitchell, but he was kind of dinged up towards the end of the season. And then you really didn't have anything behind, because Jeff Wilson wasn't even playing. But this year, I'm telling you, Ty Davis Price and Jordan Mason I'm confident that they are going to be, they're two really big backs. And then we've got Anthony Lynn as our running back coach this year. That's really kind of focusing. I think they're going to focus on that power game and kind of doing more kind of up the middle stuff. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to look a lot different, but then you're not going to be able to sell out the run because Trey can hurl it 60 yards on a line. And it's just going to be a different vibe. And he's not going to throw it 30 plus times a game. He's going to throw it about the same amount of times that Jimmy Garoppolo did. It's just going to be different. It's going to be the same play calls because he had guys, Jimmy had guys wide open, because teams were selling out against the run and he just couldn't get him the ball. But I just think it's going to be different. But I'm excited for the season. I mean, we haven't even started talking about our defense. I think our defense is way better than it was last year, just because they shored up a lot of things in the secondary. We have like Trevarius Ward now, and you're going to see a lot of press this year, lot of press.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's been your basically your camel this entire time. Anyways, your defense has been carrying this team for freaking since he got there. Yeah. I mean, Warner, obviously, probably a top 5 to 7 middle linebacker. Bosa, obviously, an elite edge rusher. Doesn't get as much credit as he should. He's better than his brother, and his brother seems to get a little more love than he does, which I think is really weird. Yeah, dude. I mean, you got cheap shot Greenlaw, who Rams fans cuss at and cuss at and cuss at. That dude will throw any extra elbow, any extra face mask, any extra friggin' helmet. That is a cheap shot and motherfucker. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Greenlaw, dude. If I was an offensive lineman, me and that dude would be going at it. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, I mean, you got, like I said, you guys have talent across the board. I mean, on defense, it's the cupboard's full, dude. I mean, again, from our perspective, not only is it already hard to repeat, but we have a team that has been, in a lot of ways having their way with us right there, that just got better, and I mean, so again, I've kind of seen like a mixed bag on the NFC West. Like I see have people have us winning it. Some people have you winning it. I think either way we playoffs. I mean, barring a bad hit of the injury bug or like some major guys going down, which of course there's always gonna be that chance in the NFL
Absolutely.
But I think if our rosters stay healthy, we're both going to play into January, and as far as beyond that goes, we'll have to see what kind of gear we can get and do later on. But I want to put this too. I am fully mentally prepared to start the season 0-1. I do not like this matchup at the start. I don't like it at all. To come out against a team that stacked out of the gate, you're going to hang the banner. All the eyes are going to be watery. All the heads are going to be spinning. It just feels like it really kind of feels like our season is going to start week 2 against Atlanta. That's just my take on it. It feels like a fall on your face game. Buffalo's got a lot to prove. They're the team that got overtime change in the playoffs, and like, I like them and I have no problem with them. God bless them. I mean, me and you got to watch me and you were in high school when they were going through their 4 falls.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that was,
you know what I mean? So it's like, we're old enough to remember that very well. So that team's been long suffering, dude. I mean, after that roster went, the Bills have been just nothing for
years. For years. And I'll tell you, this is what it looks like to me. Like, let's say that you guys lose that game. I look at it like this. They can take that even if you lose, like, you can take that easily and say, hey, do you see nobody's going to be laying down for us? And I fully expect McVay to kind of turn it around in that locker room, like with that exact message. Anybody, like, there's a lot of good teams in this league, and y'all better get your stuff together, and get ready and get buckled up, because it's going to be a crazy ride this year, and we're going to need our best every place even at home. It doesn't matter where we are. Like, we're going to have to, you guys better have your seat buckles your seatbelts buckled up tight. Like so, it's I don't put too much stock in this first game for you guys, if win or lose. Like
right, exactly. That's like I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, if they lose, like they're playing a hell of a stacked team, and again, there's gonna be all the distraction, all the hoopla, watching that banner drop and all that stuff. So I fully expect it to be, I don't want it to be like a shit show. Like, I want them to come out and be competitive. But if they lose this game, I don't want to come out and get beat 38-10. But if they lose the game 38-27, I'm not gonna cry about it for 3 days afterwards. It's not gonna be a total shock.
I feel us. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, as far as the rest of our glorious division goes, we're definitely down from where we were a couple years ago.
Yes, I would say so.
Again,
although we don't really know what the Arizona Cardinals are. I think everybody's kind of counting them out, and I don't think anybody expected them to be as good as they were last year. Well, and
once Hopkins gets back, Marquise Brown's not going to carry your team. No. Rondale Moore is a little Swiss Army guy. He's a little kind of like what Tavon Austin should have been. He's kind of that guy, but they don't have
that's a 49er legend. All right.
AJ Green's still limping out there, bro. That dude's the receiver that would never die. AJ Green's still out there and look at his 50 balls and 25 of them will be for first downs. He's going to go out and do what he does at this point in his career now, but their defense, I was actually just looking over it because I was kind of doing like a little brush before we got on here because I hadn't really watched anything about Seattle. Barring their quarterback situation. And so I just kind of doing like a little brush up, and Arizona, on defense, outside of Budda Baker, dude, you can sell that whole defense, the whole thing. You've got J.J. Watt, 4 years.
I was going to say, they got J.J. He'll go to them 5 games.
Yeah, Chandler Jones is gone, and he was already starting to fall off last year. They have no pass rush. They kind of whiffed on Simmons. Collins, they whiffed on big. Granted, it was just his rookie year, but the learning curve was way too big for him, obviously. And again, Simmons has sort of become the guy that they said that he was going to be in the draft, like a hell of a college player, but where does he fit? What's the position that Isaiah Simmons is going to play? Yeah, he's whatever 250 and can run a 4.4, but 4.35, whatever it is. But what is he really doing out there? And again, they got Budda in the back end, nondescript corners. They're going to have to outscore everybody, and just don't believe in Murray enough to make that happen more than 8 or 9 times a year. I just don't, if things start to go south, he's already shown us that he'll get dejected and he'll get in his head. And his height thing and everything it really hasn't been the problem that everybody made it out to be. He's a talented kid, but again, we've seen them down the stretch. What was it? 2 straight years, good starts, and then just
for sure. I look at Kyler Murray as the height is an issue. I think it is an issue, because they have to constantly roll him out to get him to be able to see down the field. And it's impossible. Those little crossers that they should be able to use Rondale Moore for, they can't use him, because it's Kyler Murray can't see over the line
because it's 5'9" to 5'7" throwing the ball.
It's I think he's smaller than Doug Flutie, and Doug Flutie they had to roll him out. I remember Doug Flutie, and he was solid. He was solid. He just that you can't run your whole offense around rolling out a quarterback all the time. Right. So I just look at it as I'm not a big Kyler's going to put up his numbers. He's going to get his numbers, but I just don't feel like that's winning football. And I don't think that I think that their defense, like you said, once JJ goes down in whichever game, he's only going to give him 6 or 7 games, maybe. This year. That's just the history of his injury history talking to you. But I just don't. I wasn't really impressed with their corners last year, but their corners really weren't that bad last year. Buda Baker. You got Buda Baker, and their defense didn't play that terrible. They were just there. They were kind of just there. They don't really have an identity. And Isaiah Simmons, I kind of like him as a player, but I think that they don't have enough to make him what they want to make him.
Exactly. I mean, and that could be it too. Maybe there just aren't enough parts around him to make what he is functional in that hybrid role.
Exactly.
You know? Because he's not going to take on a 6'7", 325-pound tackle. He's simply not. And he's not that guy. You know, he's not that Ray Lewis guy that will stand a tackle up, you know. And he's not going to, and you can't keep him in pass coverage all the time because then teams are just going to run it up the gut. You know, I mean, and again, how this Collins kids develops is going to play a huge role in what they're even able to do with Simmons. You know,
that was the thing. He didn't look good last year. No. In my estimation, he did not look good. He's more of a traditional old school type of linebacker, and he's going to get abused in coverage. So it's going to be. I don't think of Kingsbury as a coach, as a real coach. So I think that's the more glaring thing than anything. I don't. Who's their defensive coordinator? Do you know who their defensive coordinator is? Like, because it seems like their scheme is kind of all over the place.
Right.
And I just don't see any like real. There's no identity for that team on offense or defense. They don't have something that they're just going to force down your throat. Like, you know, you guys are going to play. I mean, you're going to move Jalen Ramsey around. You play kind of more of a 3-4 style, like defense.
Yeah.
But that's your identity is you move Aaron Donald around, you move Jalen Ramsey around to their best receiver. And that's you trust in your stars. For San Francisco is going to kind of like, it's the scheme. Like they've got these beasts on the defensive line, and you've got 2 seconds. you better get the ball out in 2 seconds. And that's our identity is in the trenches. But Arizona just doesn't have an identity. I don't know what their identity is on defense.
Nobody does. They don't. You know,
and like so. It'll be interesting because I don't think anybody really knows what they're going to look like this season. I think everybody's assuming they're going to be bad, but I think they're going to be at least as I don't see them regressing, if that makes any sense. Like I don't know how you feel about it, but
I mean, honestly, dude, like the Kingsbury thing, like I mean, honestly, I'll give him credit for being better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
To even get them sniffing wild cards with his resume, like he wasn't even that good of a college coach. Look, I remember Cliff Kingsbury. He was the first good quarterback Mike Leach had at Texas Tech in the early 2000s. I remember this guy because I'm a Nebraska guy, Big 12 guy back in the day, Big 8 guy because we're that kind of old. But
you keep talking about how old we are. Like
I remember Kingsbury as a player and then coming through the ranks. And like when he took over the program there, like it looked like a half-assed Mike Leach team. Like I didn't see what Arizona saw. And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, to get 10 wins a year out of that team with that guy as a coach has been a credit to him.
Yeah.
To at least some degree, because he had zero pedigree. Like there was no reason to make that hire. So, I mean, I know McVay and, now we're doing like the young coach thing. McVay's sort of changed the way we look at everything. And now you got Zach Taylor pulling the Bengals out of nowhere, nowhere. Another shout out, ex-Husker quarterback, Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
But
I mean, somebody's got to be good from there. Like,
dude, oh my God, these days, bro, come on, dude. That's a different podcast. Come on, you're gonna get me emotional. Can't get into it. Let me talk about my good. All right.
Yeah.
But
take your wins.
Oh my God, just a freaking what a shame for that program. Anyways, and that's meat for you. That's Roger Craig, Tom Rathman. Like, I mean, that was a machine for decades into the NFL, and just to see it where it is, it's just sad, dude. It's really sad. But anyways, back to the NFL. I guess we can cap this off with our friends up there in the Northwest. You know, who, and it's funny because I had this friend of mine at work who's about 15 years younger than us. He's a younger kid, 30, 31 years old. And he sees you guys as, he sees Niners. He's a huge Niners fan, and he sees Seattle as the rival.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, no matter whatever happened, we'll always go back to us. We'll always go back to Rams Niners. Like, if you're past a certain age, you're always going to think Rams Niners, right? I mean, always.
Yeah.
That's always we're going to come back to as the biggest rival, regardless of, you know, you guys having cowboy battles, you know, in the playoffs in the 90s, and, you know,
For sure.
playing Minnesota a bunch of times in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had those little off rivalries too, but that home, that NorCal SoCal thing will always be it. But anyways, and it just that just dawned on me, and I thought it would bring
Seattle
up.
wasn't always in our division, so like it was.
Right.
I think that's what makes that whole thing
Right.
But yeah, I feel you. Like Seattle,
right?
I think that Russell Wilson was our boogeyman for a long time, and he was really in my mind, he was the Seahawks Niners rivalry. It was really Russell Wilson against the 49ers. And because no matter how bad Russell Wilson played, he was always going to be good against the Niners. And that was I'm pissed off that we have to play him again this year. Like, even though he's out of the division.
Christmas Day for me.
Oh, nice. That's a whole nother thing. So the NFL decided is basically just punking the NBA at this point, saying, hey, we know we've always had this little unspoken deal with you guys. We get Thanksgiving, you guys get Christmas, but we're not okay with that anymore. Like, we're just going to take Christmas from you too. And It doesn't matter if we roll out Jaguars Lions that day. Like, we're still going to outdraw you. And it's just going to, like, I think that the NFL has gotten just so big that it's about to get bigger. I can just feel it. So, but yeah, I know that's a tangent, but yeah, Seattle, I don't put anything until we get a resounding victory against Pete Carroll. I am going to be cautiously optimistic that they're just bad, because they're going to run the ball. They got two new rookie tackles, and Abraham Lucas and I believe it's Charles Cross on the other side. And so they're rookies, but they've looked really good. And I'm afraid that it's really weird that they do that after Russell Wilson leaves. But yeah, I'm really kind of scared that they are going to be halfway decent. And it's not scared isn't the word, but like I said, it's just I guess I'm just ruined with Pete, where Pete Carroll is concerned. He just has this way of really giving us a hard time always. So yeah, I don't know. Because they got talent. They have talent on the team. They just can they put it together, and they have trash at the quarterback position. But all of a sudden, because are they going to run the ball 30 plus times and somehow pull out victories? I don't know.
Yeah. With who? Rashad Penny? You know what I mean? It's like, again,
he was nice towards the end of the season. He was nice towards the end of the season.
And it's funny because I want to say McVay's 7-3 against Carroll.
Yeah.
Seattle has been zero trouble for us. Zero trouble. You guys have been a nightmare, and Seattle has been zero trouble. And it's really interesting how I want to say we've had 3 season sweeps since he's been there. Maybe only 2 season sweeps, but we have not gone 0-2 yet since McVay's been there. For sure. I know that 100% for sure. And I think he's undefeated in Seattle, ironically. And I think our couple losses in fact, I know our couple losses have come at home against them. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, obviously DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett could go anywhere and start right now. Jamal Adams has sort of become this kind of like quasi Roy Williams. I mean, he's lost his ability to cover, but he's still a guy who's going to come in, blow face masks off, get his 3 or 4 picks where the guy's terrified, so the guy takes his eye off the ball and he gets the pick. I mean,
Yeah.
And credit to him. I mean, hey, look, Jamal Adams can play. He belongs in the league. He's a Pro Bowl player. But I think he's pretty one dimensional now. We all know what he is.
Yeah.
And Diggs is pretty solid. I like
I like Diggs. I like Diggs.
He's a really good free safety. So again, there's a couple pieces, but again, where's the pass rush? The pass rush.
And you lose Bobby Wagner, which is just the heart and soul of your defense.
Sure.
So I mean, who do you replace him with? Because they didn't just lose him; they lost their other guy too, I believe. Who was the other guy that was next to him? I can't remember his name right now. But it was, but I believe they lost the other guy on the other side, and I'm not sure that anybody even picked him up. But it's just gonna be it's gonna be interesting. That their defensive line, they got Ojabo, I believe. They got him. And they've got some pieces on the defensive line, so it's going to be interesting because they're going to be trying to run the 3-4 like you guys. Their defensive coordinator, who everybody in Seattle hated last year, is like trying to run more 3-4 and run kind of a newer style of style of defense. So,
I mean, you go with what you got. I mean, you can't be stubborn in this league, dude. Stubborn in this league is going to get you fired quick. They're not for long, bro. Not for long. The good old NFL. I mean,
for sure.
If you aren't willing to adjust and move, like you think about 7-8 years ago when we were hearing all the crying about all these running quarterbacks and all, how college football was changing. Everything zone read. Every team, USC runs. Even the classic teams that hung on to the pro style offense as long as they could are now running the shotgun. They're running the zone read. And every single coach, old school or new school, has adopted it. Alabama runs the zone read, and Saban's an old school. He's an old soul. It's just what it is. So the NFL had to adjust, and they have. And offenses have changed. And if you're not willing to take your defense and roll with what you've got, and you're going to be hell bent on your 4-3 or hell bent on your 3-4, then, have fun being a DB coach in 2 years.
Yeah.
because you're going to be, I mean, you have to be willing to move and adjust. I wanted to talk to you about just real quick about our glorious freaking, like you brought up Wilson again, our glorious friggin' AFC schedule we have this year.
Yeah.
Dude,
oh my God.
Hell.
I was like, why this season? Why this season do we have to have the AFC West? I mean, if it wasn't bad enough that we have a rookie, or not a rookie quarterback, but a second year guy, first season as the full on starter, we got to have our division that's going to be tough as it is, and then you've got the AFC West,
right?
And the Chargers just all of a sudden went spending. And we don't really know what that's going to look like. Right. I know everybody's super confident in what that's going to look like, but I'm not really confident in what that's going to look like. Go ahead.
It should be the Chargers and Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. Talent-wise, if you look at the John Madden football roster, it should be the Chargers and the Bills playing in Buffalo to see who goes to the Super Bowl. The Chargers, but they've been that team. They've been good. They've had players. And every year they find a way to underachieve, and it's just unbelievable. And I love Justin Herbert. I love that kid. I think he was an absolute, I mean, for all the kind of crap he took coming out of Oregon, he's thrown all that to hell quick. They got the receivers. Oh God, what's the kid they have at running back? That Swiss Army kid.
Oh, Eckler.
Austin Eckler. Thank you. Fantasy football gold, Austin Eckler.
Again, I got him on one of mine.
They've found guys to complement him. Offensively, they've got it. Like I said, they got Mac. They went out and spent some money. They've obviously got Bosa. They've got the pieces there to be Derwin James is a generational safety. The guys are there. So the excuses are over. The Chargers should win the AFC West, and I think they should win it by 2 or 3 games. My personal opinion. That's just my take on it. If you're going pure talent, KC is going to be what they are. Mahomes is going to keep them relevant. They're going to do enough on defense. We'll see if Mecole Hardman or one of those guys can 70% makeup for Tyreek.
Do not sleep on that right wide receiver core. Like they've got Juju, who I know that doesn't put fear in anybody's heart. Like, but it's not so much a guy that they have as in they're one of those teams that's gonna kill you with a million cuts. Like because they've got Juju, they've got Valdez Scantling that they got from Green Bay, who's a burner, and then you've got they got the kid Sky Moore, that they drafted, he's a burner, and then you've got Hardman, and then you've got they just released Gordon, but they have another guy that I can't think of right now, but they've still got speed,
sure,
and they've got Mahomes.
Yeah, they got Mahomes, and they've got the best receiving tight end in football, which he is. I mean, look, we can argue about the little nuances between, like, if you have me blocking an edge, I'd want Kittle, but if you have me over the middle, I want Kels.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's again, I don't think anybody argues the top 3 or 4 tight ends in the NFL. We all know who they are. We can all name them right now.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Like, you're not on Twitter. You're not on Twitter. Like, there was a space the other day where they were arguing top tight ends, and they refused to give. They came out of this with, and I mean, this is like 50, 60 people. Like, they came out of this with Andrews being the best tight end in the NFL.
He's good. I mean, you've definitely got to put him in the top 5. You got him, Kels, Kittle, Waller. You got Hawkinson's definitely getting up into that upper 7 or 8, and then top 7 or 8 in the league. For sure, a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
You have some guys climbing the ladder, but I mean, still,
yeah.
3rd down 7 across the middle, I want Travis Kelce.
Back down here on Earth, we both know that Kelce and Kittle are the 2 best tight ends in the league. Like, I don't even know how that's even an argument, but yeah, like, no, I feel you. And KC got better on defense. I think they got better on defense. Like, they did lose Travarius Ward, who, thank you for that, KC. But they drafted a guy, and then they drafted some more help on the defensive line. They got the Karlaftis, who looked really good in the preseason. And I know it's just preseason, but I feel like they're gonna be more complete this year. Like, they've been like all offense. I think this team, you're going to see a little bit more complete team this year from them. But back to the Chargers. They've got cornerback. I mean, they got J.C. Jackson, and they've got what's the other guy? Santi Samuel Jr. They've got 2 really good corners too, like, to add to that pass rush. And so, I mean, on paper, like you said, they look great. But I always like to reserve judgment because I thought that they looked really good last year, but I think that Brandon Staley was so analytics driven and made a bunch of ridiculous mistakes. Like, so I'm wondering how does he fix that this season, and does he take a more traditional approach? And so I'm interested to see what happens there. Like, because they have a whole bunch of talent on paper. But yeah, like, we all know that doesn't always equate when they get out there and start pushing people around.
Right. So then we'll go to Denver. Obviously, the big meat potato signing there is big old number 3.
They extended him.
Our guy from our guy from our division. So
yeah, they've got wide receivers. They got running backs.
Yeah, but they got Judy, they got Sutton, and then whoever else they can swing at that. They got running backs. I know they got Williams, and they got the Wisconsin kid that was in San Diego. My names are I'm dying on names.
So they've got Javonte Williams, and they've got Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, dude. It was right here. But they did lose Fant. Lost Fant to Seattle. He's in Seattle.
They've got a kid that they drafted that looks really good. Like, he's a young kid. Like, he's been injured for most of the time, but they said that super talented. Like, who knows?
But then defensively, they've got what? They got Patrick Surtain's kid. He's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. They've got Bradley Chubb's been kind of I don't know, like now that he's the guy, I don't know that he's going to even be up in his 10-11 range. I don't know that I've seen enough from that to believe.
Well, think about this. Like they haven't had a quarterback there since who? Since Peyton?
That's it.
Like, so this is the thing. This is and I talk about this all the time on my podcast, is that sustaining drives means a lot for the defense. And like when you were talking about pass rush, like give the guys a breather. Like if your defense is on the field the whole game, like then they're not going to get any pass rush. That's the way I look at it. I think Bradley Chubb is you're gonna see a resurgence from him. I think that this defense is I think that this defense is gonna be top 10. Like because they're gonna have Russell Wilson out there sustaining drives. He may not score a whole bunch of points because we all saw he had a little bit of a regression last year, but he was running for his life. And my real question for this team is, what does that offensive line look like? Because I didn't think they were that good last year. But they were good run blocking line, but pass pro was kind of questionable. But that's what I'm interested in seeing from this team. But because I think that their defense could be top 10 if they just get a breather.
And then we can go to your neighbors in the Bay, the team America loves to hate, the silver and black,
the criminals, the inmates. Like that's what I like to call them. Like.
We're old enough to have seen Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, but they're going to be good. I think that they're going to be solid. I think they're going to be really good offensively.
Yes.
I think that they're going to try and turn games into shootouts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like Crosby. And I think that putting Chandler Jones with him, I think will rejuvenate Chandler Jones because Crosby does the little things and Jones can just freaking put the racing stripe on that helmet and go. Like they kind of have the guys around him now to where he can really do what he should be doing at this point in his career and just going. I like Crosby. I think seeing him as like an all pro was a little much for me maybe, but
they were comparing him to Bosa like all year last year.
Pro Bowler,
and it was making me sick. It was making me sick to my stomach.
Yeah. Pro Bowler, all day, bro, all day. No question about it. Max Crosby's a Pro Bowler. I would never take that from him. And God bless him. He played for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Nobody comes out of that school. So I mean, even bigger coming from there. But but beyond him, like the defense again, you're right. I mean, I see a lot of 35-31 games in Vegas this year. I see a lot of just shootouts and can Carr keep up? Can Carr keep his, can the addition of arguably the best receiver in football, certainly arguably, definitely top 2 or 3, can infusing him into that offense along with what they've already got, actually letting Darren Waller run without 3 guys covering him. Can that make the Raiders a real playoff push team? I mean, I don't see why not. But again, that the gauntlet in their own division is so brutal. It's like, I mean, you could be a really good freaking team. I wouldn't be shocked to see the AFC West have the best team 11-6 and the worst team 8-9. I mean, it could be, especially having to play us. So they got to play us and themselves, and they don't have a weak team. I mean, unless the injuries start hitting, there's no weak team in the AFC West. That's going to be a freaking slaughterhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have a Seattle for like we do. There's no team where you can kind of look and go, yeah, we better sweep those guys. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It'd be brutal. So again, for the Raiders, can they find that consistency that they've just been lacking forever? The
thing that we haven't talked about is, and because we're going into this season, right? Season doesn't start till Thursday, but we all know what's going to happen. Season's going to start first by week 3. People are going to start to get injured, and if it doesn't happen before then, and a lot of these teams aren't going to look the same way on paper as they do right now. So I think a lot of the questions are going to be the Raiders, they don't have any depth for sure. Like
Right.
KC has depth. KC has depth.
Right.
I look at the Chargers; they're pretty top heavy, and like it's their starters look great, but do they have depth? And like, and then you've got like you guys are. I would say that the Rams are like one of the few teams that I've ever seen that just like you don't have a ton of depth. I don't but
No.
but your key guys never go down. Your key guys never go down. So you can those the other guys around them, like they're just you can play musical chairs, but you're always going to have those core guys. And
but I can tell you right now, Pete, and I can say this with like my willingness to gamble a lot of money on it if it ever happened. If Aaron Donald goes down, the Rams are a bottom 5 defense. They linger. I mean, I know we had that crazy number 1 overall defense year a couple of years ago, which I don't even know where the hell that came from. I didn't think we were that good on defense. I mean, I really didn't. Like, I thought we were a good defense, but like, I think just statistically, it just sort of like morphed itself into number 1 overall. They were a good defense for sure, but it just, anyways, I think we belong more in like
fun
that.
Stat. I got a fun stat for you because, and I bet you never knew this, and you're a Ram fan. So Aaron Donald has been with you guys for how many years now?
Since 14, since 2014.
So it's been what, 8 years? So out of the 8 years that he's been a Ram, he's only been on a top 10 defense once.
Yep. 100%. No,
I looked that up. I looked that up the other day, and I thought I was seeing. I was like, wait a minute, there's got to be one in there. And like,
yeah, that was my next comment. We exist in that like 12, like maybe like 10 to 12 to 17 area. Like I think that's our defense, right? We're a middle of the pack defense. We have 2 first ballot Hall of Famers, and then a couple guys that might sniff a Pro Bowl, and then just role players. That's all there is. And again, like if Aaron Donald goes down, it's over. It is over. I mean, you want to talk about having to shoot out? They won't be able to stop anybody. Geno Smith will throw for 320 on us.
Yeah.
As long as he throws away from Jalen. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that would be easily equatable to losing Matt Stafford. It would be that big. And to see a defensive tackle, I mean, me and you both been football guys a long time.
Yeah.
We've seen the Lawrence Taylors, like the game. We got to watch Lawrence Taylor's whole career, a game-changing guy at outside linebacker. There's no way the Giants are who they are without him.
No.
We've seen some excellent defensive tackles, the Cortez Kennedys, the Jerome Browns, these guys, right? Bryant Young. Yeah. But have you ever seen a defensive tackle in your whole life linchpin a defense at this level?
Not built around him like that.
Right.
The only guy that I've ever seen come close, and I don't think he gets enough credit, is a guy that used to play for the Patriots.
Wilfork.
Yeah, like that guy was like, I mean, he would take 2 and sometimes 3 linemen to block him. And so he was the only one, but he wasn't anywhere near Aaron Donald, like on like a pass rush or anything like that level. So like it was, but yeah, like I completely agree with you. I think Aaron Donald is an incredible player. Obviously first ballot Hall of Famer, all that. But I just, because I've thought in the past, I was like, well, one of your guys got to go down. One of your guys got to go down eventually. And they just don't. So testament to you guys, like for keeping your guys healthy. Whatever you guys are putting in your Kool-Aid, like we need some of that.
So all y'all, when you guys make fun of the Rams for having their top 10 guys in street clothes for 3 games in the preseason, now you know why. Take notes and follow suit, because the shit works.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you know that this guy Conrad, or if he just kind of stumbled into the chat, but he's saying Ray. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I'm thoroughly excited for this season to start. And
For sure.
we've talked. I've been talking all off season on this channel about everything. I mean, everything possible you could think of, and ad nauseum. And it's just, I'm just excited to see some actual hitting going on, and for us to finally get the pads on. I got 2 fantasy teams I'm stoked about, and I had 3, but like somehow one got deleted. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, like yeah, I'm just super excited to get the pads going, and like I'm excited to talk mess, and yeah, like we'll be texting each other
Oh,
throughout the season,
yeah.
and I'm gonna have you on like throughout the season.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
like whenever you're ready to come on, bro. Like it's always, I'm gonna make time for you. So you just let me know when you're ready, and
Sorry,
it's
Blake, for a couple months, bro. Like I really, I love you, and I want to be on here, but like my life it's been a
I
little.
feel you, bro. Like I get you. That's why I tell you, like when that's why I just keep telling you, like when you're ready, like you let me know. Like it's that's like the door's always open. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. I got to put these kids
Oh,
to bed in a little bit, but yeah, like super stoked to have you on, bro. Like welcome back, and this is not the last time you guys are gonna see Nate. He will be on here, reoccurring guest, and but like we keep talking about, be excited, for this season. I think that this is going to be a very unique season, and everybody just needs to get ready. I think we're going to see some things that we haven't seen before. It happens every single NFL season, but I think this one in particular, I think it's going to be a little bit special. So keep your eyes out. Keep out your eyes out for the podcast. Nate is like is not a social media guy. I'm trying to get him on Twitter and trying to get him on doing some other stuff. But if you want to tell them where they can find you, like I don't know if you want all these people bombarding you on Facebook.
yeah, I'm down for it, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, I think I need to get my I played fantasy football for like a decade, and then me and you were in that league together for a couple
Yeah,
years, and
that
then
was fun.
since then I haven't had anybody, and I've kind of moved away from that circle that I was hanging out with during that, and I got a bunch of buddies that have work stuff they do, so I haven't been able to jump into anything for a while. So, but yeah, I mean, I think getting a little more involved would be fun. I'm actually, just real quick, and I'll let you go. I'm actually getting into coaching. I might be coaching
Oh,
I might be coaching a semi-pro football team
oh wow.
called the LA Scorpions. Yeah, doing some offensive stuff, and actually with my son's a quarterback. I know you saw he
Yeah,
broke
I
his.
saw that. That was
Yeah,
sad. Like I heard about his thumb. Like that's unfortunate.
but this kid's mind for the game. If you sat down with him, Pete, I swear to God, uh, his mind for the game is unbelievable, and like his ability to read coverages at the age he's at, and
Yeah.
as he grows, I think he should coach. He's gonna do better things with his life, I think, in the sense of initially,
Yeah.
like rather than like starting at like some like low end coaching deal. But like, I mean, the kid's ability is off the chart, so he's actually helping me out with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that too. And if it's gonna be for next season, not this year, so
Yeah,
if
for
that
sure.
happening, I'll keep you updated on that. Anyways, that's all I got, man. I appreciate you having me on. Always good to chop it up with you, bro. And like you said, every 2 or 3 weeks we'll touch on how our teams are doing,
Yeah,
and
we'll talk
hopefully,
NFC West and just keep talking about our division, and that like just keep everybody up to date on the whole division.
and here's the team staying healthy. I would
Yeah,
hate to
for
see either one
sure.
of the teams have to tank their year to some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want us to go to war and have fun doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's
No
you know,
excuses. No excuses. That's what it is. But yeah, like I said, I'm stoked to have you on, and like I said, stoked to having you back later on. And but yeah, everybody enjoy the season. Like I'll be going on again Tuesday with Wayne Breezy. So get ready for that show. And yeah, like I said, you'll be able to catch this on the audio version of this on on any podcast platform you can find. Like I'm on all of them. So make sure you tell your friends, like, comment, subscribe, please. And once again, it's always go Niners and whatever they say about the Rams.
And all you Niners fans, until Thursday at 5, this counts.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, brother. You guys have a good night.